all kinds of tweets saying Congress spokespersons want to be felt rather than heard and all that.
We are live now.
Suhel is talking about Advaita, not me, Sandeep. And you're live. People are hearing what you're saying about me, as usual. Bullshit.
Horrible. Pallavi, you're in Rajasthan
I
or you're
think
back?
I think secretly both of you love each other. You're married,
Which
Pallavi?
two?
That
Yeah.
you and Shondeep.
Yeah. There's
Advaita is in love with
what
the
is
mountains and some
what,
mountain.
what is secret about it, yeah, Pallavi? I have made it so open.
Guys, this is live. People are listening.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what? People are
People I know.
the Chaunis who are listening are not exactly under a rock or in a cave. They also have emotions, we hope.
Yeah, we have a very emotional audience who's
I'm
always
in
By the
Delhi.
way, I have to tell you, I was in New York. I met at least 8 to 9 people randomly who came up to me and said, "We watched the Sunday Club."
Yeah, I see. I never went to New York, but in Jaipur, I know lots of people walked up to me.
Is
And
it?
it's extremely popular. And there are people who feel for me, who say that Sandeep is very nasty to you. Suhail is also very nasty. Abhijit is also very nasty. So I felt
Nasty. What's nasty? It's nasty.
You said
It's
New York first, so you got an accent.
not nashta, not nasty. It's nasty. It's also very nasty. It's like one guy in New York tells me, "I'm going for a gala." I said, "What is that?" What he meant was a gala.
Mhm.
Pallavi, you
thanks, Divyansh.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, hey."
Thank you,
Again,
Divyansh.
Mm.
Are we
So-
starting or shall we just bloody play this thing? Come on.
No, we've started. We started. Basically, we're here to discuss a couple of things actually because it's been a hot news day. But starting with the Panauti, sort of
Panauti was
challenge
yesterday. As always, you're late.
yesterday. I know,
But today also, Congress is doing hashtag Panauti PM.
Can I tell you, it really doesn't matter. Actually, he is Panauti for them. Ever since he's come into their lives,
Yes,
they've started
Aditya.
losing. They've started losing. They've been decimated. So obviously he's Panauti for them. Now, to say that India's cricket team lost, I have a view. If these chaps had played at Eden Gardens, none of this nonsense would have happened for two reasons. One is it's a beautiful stadium. And number two, the crowd is educated, informed, and loves the game. In Ahmedabad, you had only fat cats, guys who had bought their way into a cricket stadium and then said, "Oh, yaar, hum log bhi ja rahe hain match dekhne." Half the jokers were not even looking at the match. They were looking at whether Deepika Padukone is holding Ranveer's hand, whether this person is holding that person's hand. So the match was not in focus. And you need motivation, you need audience support. A B. Let's imagine Modi went there. Modi didn't go, or Modi just went at the time of the prize giving. Let's imagine Modi had not watched the match. Had he not watched the match and gone just for the prize distribution, they would have said, "See, he's now come to take the credit." Now, cut to imagine he didn't go for the match, he didn't go for the prize, we won the match. Then people would have said, "Oh, he's invited them for dinner, or he's holding a party for them or a get together because he wants credit." In this country, do your damn. If you don't, you're damned. So my advice is do exactly what pleases you and to hell with what people say. By the way, Modi is cut from that cloth. He doesn't give a monkey's toss. He really doesn't. So आपने जो बोलना है आप बोलो. What I'm worried about is the level of political discourse and the pettiness with which it is being infused by all parties. See, here it's unfair to blame only Rahul Gandhi or the Congress or the BJP. Everyone. It's like a bloody Turkish bath. Hammam mein sab nange hain. Now you've got to figure how is this going. And let me tell you, this is going to get worse until the elections. So there'll be more abuse. There'll be more pot shots. No one is actually saying anything about the policies. Have you noticed the Uttarakhand tunnel issue? The fact that those miners, poor chaps, are trapped. It's not even in the main headline yet. Many years ago, I remember when one little boy fell into a hole, the whole country was seized of the matter.
Prince.
Whatever. But the point I'm making is, today we just don't care. So, you're interested in all of this petty stuff, trivial stuff, and the policies that will actually impact the people are not being discussed.
See, Pallavi, we might take credit about Sunday Club, but one reason I suspect people watch Sunday Club, we may be fooling around, horsing around, but we discuss issues which are relevant. Otherwise, you see today, Suhel is talking about Panauti. Today at lunchtime, I was seeing television channels are holding talk shows on Gautam Singhania's divorce. Now, is that a
Yeah.
importance? And they get two page 3 journalists, and they're giving their view as to whether they fought over the toilet or fought over something else.
Can you imagine?
Is that a subject of discussion? That is what.
But his wife is also giving interviews now.
Giving interview doesn't mean he'd hold prime time shows.
Which part of our English did you not understand, Pallavi?
No, and his wife may be giving interviews, but why are people like you taking interviews?
Yeah, I didn't.
I wouldn't be surprised if your ex-boss tomorrow travels down like he did to Calcutta. He travels down to Bombay to take her
Correct.
interview.
He's had so many.
He
I didn't
might-
have so many.
So, that is the problem. What my problem, Suhel, with this Panauti or any of this discourse, first of all, what you're saying is absolutely right. It couldn't get lower, this discourse, but kind of people who are indulging in it. You can. So far, I had a lot of regard for K.C. Venugopal. At least he was somebody who's doing. But K.C. Venugopal tweeting on these issues, that shows something very, very wrong. And I think what's happened now, Congress, for whatever reason, has decided that either they're supremely confident they're winning, or they're doing the right thing, in which case we don't know, or at least we can't read those signals. They are saying that, we'll do whatever to pull down Modi, and if they made a puppy out of us earlier, and we are now going to make fun of him and everything. But the problem is, I think there is one section of people who are either disenchanted or who have been turned off by this over publicity of Mr. Modi trying to do. But Mr. Modi doesn't care because people are talking about this is going into the dressing room with the camera and everything. Okay, fine. You think he did it for the camera, but if he did it, the people he did it for, they actually are lapping it up, and they will lap it up. It's your Twitter and other places.
It's got huge hits on YouTube. Though, I mean, that did not necessarily be the yardstick. But also, this is video surfaced of 1982 when Indira Gandhi, during the Asian Games, had gone into the stadium on a jeep, and she was being filmed. So that's the counter which is also coming, that you do it is fine, and we do it, you have a problem. I per se don't think it's a problem. I was speaking to one of the sports journalists who was there, and she says that, once the trophy has been exchanged, then there's no such things of, the privacy of your dressing room and so on and so forth. Anybody can go there, and there have been instances where pictures of this trophy had been taken inside the dressing room. And, people are making fun of the fact that, the players seemed to be forced, and, the Prime Minister was laughing and joking. But I guess that's the entire idea, right? You give a pep talk to people who are down and out, who are upset. But to come back to the Panauti thing, and there's 3 quick points. I think K.C. Venugopal was just towing the party line, so you can't entirely blame him for that. I mean, the hashtag Panauti PM is something which they wanted to trend. See, what I noticed in the Congress, one senior leader told me that, we think that the Panauti thing will not even benefit us, but it won't even harm us, and it won't even benefit the BJP. Those days are gone. Ki maut ka saudagar and all. In an ideal situation, yes, someone like a Rahul Gandhi need not have used it. But having said that, we don't think it's going to hurt the BJP or it's going to benefit them. If you notice, the Prime Minister, after this comment, has not yet made a reference to the Panauti remark. Maybe he's going to wait for the election results to be out, and in case the Congress loses, then he'll ask this question, ki Panauti kaun hai? Aap log bataiye, and the crowd will take RG's name. Maybe that's the gamble. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But the Congress is now saying that if we can be called क्या मूर्खों का सरदार, you name call us, you've given names to Sonia Gandhi. Why do you have a problem? Because the narrative has been spoiled. But then there are those who ask this question that we thought Rahul is different. We thought the Congress is claiming to be different. So if you're going to end up doing what the BJP is doing, according to you, then why do you claim to be any different? So, yeah, so that's the thing.
No, so what's your point?
Yeah, what's the point?
You've moved your tongue, your hands for the last 10 minutes. What's the point?
She just
So
sits
the
with
point
her
is,
friends in Congress who should not tell her that you
so
only
the
give the
point
BJP
is
point of
that
view.
the
No,
Congress doesn't think. The
See,
Congress
we're creating
doesn't
an
think.
intellectual vacuum. Now you see what I mean. This country is becoming an intellectually vacuous.
Congress doesn't think they've done anything wrong in mentioning Panauti. They are not apologetic. They don't even
of
think it's
course.
going to boomerang on them.
The party
Neither did
that
Manishankar
keeps
think.
praising, invoking Mahatma
They don't
Gandhi.
believe that theory anymore.
1 minute. The party that keeps invoking Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi is doing exactly what he wouldn't have done. An eye for an eye. This is not what the Congress should be doing. Then by how
The
you
Congress will say, Suhel, that why do you expect us to have all the morality?
So therefore, you don't become immoral because your opponent is immoral. A. B. Who and where are the parties with a so-called difference? I've told you repeatedly on this program, Advaita, that please don't expect any of these jokers to be, holier than thou. Ultimately, their only purpose of existence is power. It is not the people. The sooner we realize it, the better off we will be. We are actually the idiots who think, यार हमारे लिए कर रहे हैं, हमारा कुछ कर रहे हैं, हमारे लिए सब है. घंटा बाबा जी का ठुल्लू. They are not for us. They are for themselves. And in this cat fight, as that South Korean saying goes, when whales fight, shrimps are eaten. We are the shrimps. So either we take cognizance of this and begin to ignore it. My worry is that impressionable minds who today have access to immediate news on their devices will begin to think that this is the new way of public behavior, that this is the way we should talk. This is political discourse. What kind of signal are you sending? All the Lakshman Rekhas for the party that believes in Ram have been crossed. All Lakshman Rekhas. Earlier, you never attacked the kids of, opposing politicians. You're now doing it. So there are no holy cows, and there shouldn't be. But you cannot get into a situation where every day there's tu meme. People are
No,
dying,
no,
prices are an issue, joblessness is an issue. No one is willing to talk about it.
but see, that's the point, no, Suhail. That's the thing, that there is such frivolity in him to use a word like Panauti. I was chatting with Arnaz, one of our viewers. She's also on Twitter, and she was telling me, and she's right.
Arnaz, who's in UAE, right? In Abu Dhabi.
Arnaz is in Abu Dhabi. I don't know where she is.
The
I think she's in
voice of men. Nah?
yeah. And she made a point to me, and I think it's a very important point, because she says, this Panauti is a deeply misogynistic term as well, because it's been used through the ages for women who cannot bear children, So it's just
Absolutely.
like this sort of mindset that perpetuates this kind of logic of Panautis, like
It
was
was
done
a
with.
word that was used by mothers-in-law
Yeah.
against two kinds of daughters-in-law. One who didn't bear a son, and the other who remained childless.
Yes.
So the word was Panauti. A. B. You remember that we also have a tradition in India where if you're Manglik, you're first married off to a goddamn tree and then to a human being who may be dumber than a tree, but you still marry the girl off to a tree. I mean, if this is the kind of country we are, or we've become, or we wish to become, then we can kiss all genuine progress goodbye. And let me tell you, if we go back into our cultural imprint, our legacy, our heritage is supremely pluralistic in that sense.
And egalitarian also.
Yeah, and look at what our politics has become.
No, I just,
This one joker called Ori or whatever his name is. He has
I like
today
him.
said, I'm a liver. What is a liver?
I like him. I think it's
get a
good.
functional test done so that we at least have a liver functional test. These are
I
the
love.
kind of people who are getting. But Advaita,
Hmm.
just because you have very little to do in your life and you flick off this kind of intellectual innocence, it mustn't. You mustn't assume we are of the same ilk. We have
Listen, you're
hundreds.
just old now. You're just old now. Ori is living his best
This
life
is
and he's being
this is
exactly who he
ageism.
is.
This is
Huh?
being ageist.
He's jealous of Ori actually.
Yeah, he's jealous of Ori because
I'm
Ori is
you.
just like, I mean, you ask Ori, what does he do for a living? And he's like, I'm working on myself. What do you do for work? He says, I work on myself. I love
No,
it.
he said, "What do you do? I live. Others
No,
are
that is
golfers."
another one
That's a
was, what do
nice
you
thing
do?
to say.
What do you
That's such a
work?
nice thing to
What do you do
say.
for work? He said, I work for, I'm working on myself. I think that's fabulous.
Anyway,
No,
Yeah.
you're putting yourself same level as Ananya Pandey. She was also equally impressed by this state. But what do you mean by working on yourself? It can have several connotations. Yeah, chalo.
But what's wrong in being on the same level as Ananya Pandey? I think
Let
she's
him be
cool.
himself. No, he has the courage to be himself and say whatever the
Pallavi,
hell he wants. I think that's great.
Given your vast experience in mobility and journalism in that order, why don't you actually tell us a few things on the topic so that we can actually move forward? Rather than smile, interject in a very trivial and facetious manner, it would be of great help if you contributed from a cerebral perspective.
What's so cerebral about Panauti?
I mean, who's this Mahesh Jagga?
I'm
Suhel,
actually
maybe an arrogant racist. Where have I been racist, for God's sake? First of all, half these Johnnies don't even know the words they use. What is
Racist to
arrogant
nahi hai.
racist? Anyway, with a name, anyway, I don't want to go there. Continue.
anyway. I just think that on some level it's very difficult to take him seriously. And I think Pallavi. Were you trying to say that he's been advised by a political analyst to talk
Who?
like this? This of
No, no.
RG,
So
or like
I
he's
see. I think, as I said, I mean, I spoke to Congress leaders. They actually don't think that it's going to boomerang anymore. Pehle, they were very cagey. Maut ka saudagar, neech aadmi, chai wala. They felt that this is one reason why we need to stay away from personal attacks on the Prime Minister. Here they don't. Now they are convinced कि अगर वो करेंगे तो हम भी करेंगे and it's not going to hurt us. Which is why I think I want to see what the BJP is going to do, because for some strange reason in the last 24 to 48 hours, the Prime Minister himself has not made a reference to it. He's not even made the point that, ye log mujhe Panauti bulate hain and they attacked me and all of that.
Prime
He hasn't
Minister,
done that. So,
this Prime
no,
Minister reacts at a time of his choosing.
yeah, so
He
that's,
doesn't
I
get
was coming to that.
provoked.
Huh? Sandeep, if you let me talk, then I'll come to that. That's
You've already
exactly what I
said this
said.
point earlier. You
I
said this
think
point
he'll say it when the results come out, should the Congress party not win. That's one. Second, Congress is convinced that this is the time. It's going to get worse from here. So, hum bhi personal attacks karenge, then so be it. Rahul Gandhi is convinced that the Panauti hashtag PM works. He's very convinced that the Adani issue works, which is why even in Rajasthan, Gaon mein, and Gehlot, one of the main investors in Rajasthan, is actually an Adani. But despite that, he's going on and on attacking Adani. In fact, I
well,
remember in Raipur or some,
even in Kolkata, by the way.
not, yeah, even in Kolkata, and also,
I don't know. I mean,
in Raipur, I remember somewhere in Chhattisgarh, Baghel was sharing the stage with Rahul, and then Rahul talks about, Baghel points at him कि ये तो अदानी से investment कराते हैं, but I am against Adani. So, your sitting chief minister, who's the face of your party and your campaign, is there, and you say this about him. He's convinced. He doesn't
I'll
think
tell
that this
you,
is going to be a Chaukidar Chor Hai
he's
moment.
convinced.
Rahul Gandhi thinks he is an activist. Rahul Gandhi thinks he's part of an NGO. That's why he will lose the election. That's why.
See, Pallavi, they have in their script they try to see Rafale as Bofors, and they think Adani they'll make into a cockroachy. Okay, so it's
But Rafale
that is
didn't
what.
become
So
Bofors, no?
therefore, that's why we say you make mistake once, is do something once. You might say it's an accident. You do it twice. They're getting into a stage when they're getting into a madness kind of a thing. You think even Adani, Modi is going to let go. He will come back on it at the right time. They're not reacting to it for a purpose. It's not that Modi or anybody didn't only thing they may not have anticipated is the Hindenburg report or something of that kind. Or, so whether it's Rahul Gandhi or Moha Mitra still going on and on about Adani, you don't think it'll be a one-sided thing if they're thinking that,
And,
that's how it'll
and I don't
continue.
I
but
don't think
Suhail,
once
Suhail, do you
one
know
thing,
this?
Pallavi,
Why didn't that? Sorry.
Why did that?
Just I don't think the BJP was caught off guard either, because it was very obvious, at least to me, that if India had won and Prime Minister was in the audience, they would have said he's come to steal credit, and if he had
Exactly what he
lost,
said.
they would have said that he's what they have said. But no one thought that Rahul Gandhi would be doing this kind of Sas Bahu kind of oratory post this. I mean, that's the thing that I find very
But
odd.
he's doing the oratory in a manner which is also sounds very frivolous. If you see the smirk on his
Yes,
face, they
it's
had
very.
somebody from the audience say that, and then he's smiling. Kya bola? Kya bola? Panauti, huh? Panauti. And like that, that doesn't
But
really,
having
it's very.
yeah, but having said that, both of them at times, act, mock. I mean, this is rubbish. It is not expected of the so-called leader of the opposition, and certainly not of the prime minister. Having said that, you will go back and each party will blame the other, saying, "But you guys started it first," and they'll take you back to year 2000. It's irrelevant. What is relevant is India seized with more pressing issues than winning or losing a cricket match? The answer is yes. Do we need to focus on jobs? The answer is yes. Do we need to focus on expanding our manufacturing capabilities, ease of business, getting more investment into India? The answer is yes. Do we want our young people to have opportunities of growth through startups, through a business environment? The answer is yes. So, why on earth would you not focus on this and instead focus on facetious issues which are A, distracting, B, reek of abuse, and C, have no purpose? They help no one. This is not a school debate. Even school debates have more civility. Even school debates have more reason. This is like abusing each other. It's like what used to happen in villages, where the village bumpkin would sit under a tree, and then passers by would go and he would boom, boom, boom.
Hmm, 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 hmm. Well, I think this is about all the time we should be spending on this topic. And just quickly before we move on, and maybe we'll discuss this more in future, is this whole thing about the US suddenly, kind of on the Washington Post reporting the FT, which is reporting someone else, basically saying that the US thwarted a plan to assassinate uh, US and Canadian citizen Panun, who was that Seeks for Justice chap who recently threatened to blow up an Air India plane. Interestingly, they just had a bilateral Biden and Xi. We all know about Trudeau Xi connection. So I'm just curious to know why this now. What's with the timing, and can we trust the Americans? And do they have any right to speak to anyone in the world? First of all, these are allegations. But hypothetically speaking, if it was the truth, when you've gone on foreign soil and killed Bin Laden and then celebrated in your streets in Chicago, New York, or DC, that we've killed him, we've got him, and your president comes out on TV and announces it, do you have any right to say anything to any other country?
They have elections also now coming up.
Why do you believe that America is the America of honey and roses? They are and have remained the most hypocritical country on the planet. What serves their purpose is the only thing that concerns them. Do you think they really care about India or China or any of their allies? You've seen the way they've dumped their allies. I mean, the point is that America believes that it is the big brother to the world. It no longer is. It is
Hmm.
a spent force. Everything that it does with a purpose of getting more and more money for their industry, whether it is for their arms business, blah, blah, blah. We know about weapons of mass destruction. With their
Yeah.
so called famous intelligence, what the hell happened? And you made a war hero like Colin Powell at the UN Security Council issue a statement which was bereft of an iota of truth. So don't go by American values and American standards. Today, look at the situation in America. Half of the so-called liberal elite or the wokes are actually taking pot shots at Biden because of his age and his infirmities. This is the country. So I'm not too bothered about, oh, America has done this. And B, why the hell should India bother about America? We're a sovereign country. If we are, I don't know, if we are getting people knocked off who are threatening our people, our aircraft, our citizens, why not? They did the same thing. But they went into Abbottabad to bring out Osama. I was about to say Obama. Bring out Osama. So, what did the world do? Could anyone say anything? They couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
How many assassination squads has America supported? What is the CIA all about? The CIA is not the Red Cross. So, let him throw the first stone who hasn't sinned. And they're the biggest sinners on the planet.
Yeah.
I like
Sandeep, what do you
Obama.
what?
I like Obama.
Yeah, now see, this is it.
I tell you, Pallavi.
I mean,
Okay, fine. We know your taste in these kind of matters. Now she has disappeared again. So, okay. The best meme I saw on after that during the match that day was Doval speaking to Narendra Modi. अगर कुछ unknown men चाहिए तो हमें बताइए. I will send them to.
I don't know. I mean, do you think electorally this is really bad for Modi? These allegations, these credible allegations that they are kind of floating. I think domestically it's just going to be huge.
They're not bothered yet about
it's going to be huge. The public is going to say, I'm talking about the public, the general public. They're going to say, "Agar उड़ा दिया," how many Bollywood fantasy films we've made of people going abroad and like raw agents and
the
these
public
agents.
loves this. We are a tiger country. We're a Tiger 3, Tiger 2, Tiger 1 country. We love all this.
Yeah.
Our people love it. But will it affect the elections? They don't care about one bilateral between America and this thing. They really don't care. It's we, not even we. It is the so-called liberal elite, and I say so-called, who believe that we must toe the American line. You know why? These guys get free tickets. They get junkets to New York and DC to speak at ridiculous think tanks, which are more tank and less think. So, how does it matter? भाई जो आदमी मेरठ में या बुंदेलखंड में या गोरखपुर में वोट करेगा, do you think he even cares about Biden or Blinken or Xi? Doesn't. So that's what we should be seized with. That this is not a country, and thank God, which is either going to now get intimidated. I'm glad the masculinity and the muscular foreign policy of this government has actually worked. The fact that we are discussing it today, and America cannot ignore the right of the Indian state to exert itself even on foreign soil if its own citizens are threatened. I'm not talking about what is happening right now, because I don't want to get into that space about Israel and the Hamas. But you remember what happened when Golda Meir sanctioned the killings of the group of Black September, post what happened in Munich. The world stood with them. So, point I'm making is the unknown men, known men doesn't really matter. If someone harms India's sovereign interest, India has every right to protect it, whether legitimately or surreptitiously. Unmute yourself here, really.
Okay. So I think, that's been an interesting segue. I think we'll come back to that conversation. If there's anything more that anyone wants to say, please go ahead and say it. We'll keep these shorts, but guys, I'm planning to do this very regularly. So whenever you all can join, that'll be wonderful. And, something or the other is going to keep happening. Yes, Pallavi?
Now, again here,
What? We can't hear you, Pallavi.
We can't lip read right now.
Yeah. You're not muted. You're just not audible. Now, try. No, we can't hear you now. No. What do you want to say? You can say it on the comments, and I'll read it out. Yes, Sandeep. Anything?
Yeah, no,
Final.
no, really, I think we must end by talking about the Uttarakhand trapped people in the. I think the government is doing better than the best, and all our prayers for them. And we hope, as they say, tomorrow we'll have some good news, because those are the kind of news we need to discuss rather than Panauti or the divorce of some page three couple in Bombay. So I think that's something we need to think about. Unless Pallavi gives us one last bite about what's happening in Rajasthan and MP.
Acha, Pallavi is saying that the men in the tunnel may be out by midnight, which is great news. Thanks, Pallavi, for that news. I think that's a good note to end this conversation on. And of course, I'm in Uttarakhand right now, and I have my own. What Pallavi? Oh, okay. Thanks,
What is
Suhel.
happening? Unable to speak or unable to be heard?
She's unable to be heard.
I see.
That's what's
Take
happening.
care. Bye.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Do like, share, subscribe. Make sure you do that because that's very encouraging to us. And if you do that, then we'll be more regular. But if you don't do that, then we'll continue as is, which is fine also because we've given up on everything else. But thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll be back soon. Bye for now.